one of the things that I hear from a lot of black gay folks is why does it appear that every black LGBT person who's famous is with a white person? I've
Mm,
heard this a lot. Um, and I don't care, but this is what I've heard. Like, why don't I see enough of it? I think it's an interesting conversation, and you'll hear
yeah.
even black straight folks talk about black famous people. So I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on that from black queer folks who are like, it appears that the ones who are well known and famous, from Billy Porter, who I adore, to yourself, they all happen to be partnered with white guys. Just I'm curious to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something honestly I was very curious about before, am still curious about. I have multiple thoughts, and I think there are things that contribute to that are outside of the control of the couple, myself included. Um, but I think that, like I said, there's a lot of contributing factors. There's also, for me, another conversation of representation. Um, I don't think that there's enough or that there's an adequate amount or a representative amount of famous Black people, period, of famous LGBTQ plus people, period. I believe
Yeah.
that we are just kind of getting a small sample of people for whatever reason, talent, opportunity, um, whatever might be. And that, like I said, we're putting kind of a lot of pressure on that small, limited representation because it is so small and limited. Uh, Black love is something that I champion to this day. It's something that I feel very connected to, being a product of Black love myself. But at the same time, I did not choose who I loved. It was not a decision that I consciously could make at that moment. Like, I'm going to love you. I'm not going to love you. I'm going to love you. I'm not going to love you. And I really do believe that interracial love is also kind of another, um, I think, guidance for what we should all be doing. We should all just be loving people for who they are, um, and for the soul that they have, and not necessarily the body and the vessel that carries it. But there's a lot of factors, I believe. I also believe, like, why is Hollywood or entertainment more comfortable platforming interracial couples than Black couples?
Mm,
I think why is,
that's interesting.
um, I think why are the opportunities given where Black couples, we don't see, regardless of sexuality, we don't see Black couples get that same kind of ship, or that same kind of like support, or that same kind of like love or craze, until you get to like a Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade status. Like, these are
Right.
mega stars. But that there are a lot of famous Black people, or just Black people in entertainment, in Black relationships, that we don't see enough of. So I don't know. I could really talk about the topic for a long time, but I will say that the biggest thing that did for me was also just make sure that I was still working on me internally, because it was alarming for me to become a part of this conversation in that way, on that side of things. And people say that, well, you're self-hating, or
Mm,
you have internalized racism, which we all have internalized racism, because we grew up here, in a place where racism is literally in the systems that raise our kids, that educate our kids, and that make our jobs. So it was also a moment where I had to make sure that I was um, in a place where I love myself, and I love that part of myself, and my race, and my heritage, my ethnicity, uh, and everything. My boyfriend and I talk about family. We talk about kids and having Black kids, and what that unit looks like, for us in our relationship, and how we still support Black love, even though people will look at us from outside and not necessarily see that. But there are also so many forms of Black love, like I said, family, friendship, the intimate romantic type as well. But they're all important. And I think I could still embody so many of them, even in an interracial relationship. I think it's important for me to do that, partially because I'm in an interracial relationship.
Yeah, and also I always tell people, just because you are partnered with another black person does not mean that you can't be anti. I mean, look at Ben Carson. He's married to a black woman. And Harry Belafonte was married to a white woman. He did incredible work. So for me, I really don't care. But I've
Yeah,
just seen it,
yeah,
and I also say if you want representation as far as black queer folks, maybe not look to famous celebrities, look to Native Son. Emil Wilbekin does
mm,
some incredible work on there. So it's out there. You just
yeah.
gotta find it.